John Ritzheimer, he's an anti-Muslim activist. He plans a Draw Muhammad contest outside the Islamic Community Center in Phoenix, where the Texas gunmen were formerly members before they were shot dead trying to ambush the Draw Muhammad contest in Texas May 3rd. Ritzheimer has urged those attending to bring guns, and he stated that bikers will be on hand for security. Here is Zudi Jasser, who appears frequently on this program on this kind of issue. Now, Zudi, this is clearly provocative. Do you think that Mr. Ritzheimer is going too far?
I really do, and as a Marine, I would think he'd be smarter about what the strategy is. I mean, even the demonstration in Garland was done at an assembly facility. It wasn't done near a mosque where, by the way, it's the summer. Families with their kids will be attending their weekly prayers for worship. These are not the enemy. If anything, what he's doing is creating an becomes impossible for reformers. And this is not somebody that just really is smart anti-jihad. He's wearing a T-shirt that says F Islam. I mean, come on. He wants to declare war against a quarter of the population, and somehow that's supposed to be productive. He's feeding into the narrative of ISIS. And my fear is not about the mosque itself, which has had some radicalization issue that needs reform. My fear is just like the people went from this mosque to drive 1,000 miles to do an act, this is going to be a magnet for some crazy ISIS member from anywhere in the country to come and do something.
Well, look, I don't want to play devil's advocate here, but maybe Mr. Ritzheimer is drawing out the Islamic extremists, almost inviting them to attack so they can be identified. It will raise the chatter level on the internet from presumed followers of ISIS so that perhaps we can identify them more easily.
Well, Stuart, when we had a rally against radical Islam in 2004 in Phoenix, we did it at Patriot Square. We didn't do it in front of families worshiping that are really our best assets, number one. Number two, pulling out a few cockroaches is not a strategy against a whole jungle of hundreds of millions of Muslims that follow the ideology of political Islam, where our allies are the other hundreds of millions that are against political Islam, that are really, especially the American Muslims, that are the ones in that mosque that push back against the militants. And by the way, our organization had a member who outed and spoke to the media how Mr. Simpson got radicalized. So this individual is wearing T-shirts and other things that make our members repel from what he's doing, and it feeds into the narrative that America is anti-Islam, which it is.
Okay, I'm going to use one more argument. The right to free speech is a right, and if that right is not frequently exercised, it atrophies, like muscles which are not used frequently. They atrophy. Could you apply the same argument to freedom of speech and therefore be in favor of what Mr. Ritzheimer is doing?
I'm in favor of giving people the space to do it. Mr. Ritzheimer to free speech is what Larry Flynt was to speech. No doubt speech was protected, and there should be places in society where you can wear T-shirts that have profanity, but this does not. I'm a little saddened that there's this much media attention to him, because what it does is it creates a narrative in America that, yes, we need free speech to counter the trends of political Islam that are in the Quran and our theology that need all 56 Muslim majority countries better than anyone who was in Iraq. How big this problem is. He's not solving it by exercising this little example of free speech.
Dr. Zudi Jasser, frequent and welcome guest on this program. Thanks for joining us again, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Stuart. Appreciate it.